Hey guys, it is Shadowswom, and we've got a new free week champion rotation. It's going to be week 6 of the 2014 preseason, which it's actually New Year, so Happy New Year's to you guys. So, we've got Jana, Rise, Timo, Garen, Akali, Lee Sin, Vayne, Leona, Varus, and Diana. All of these are in the new free week champion rotation. Just going to go over, how many bot games I feel you guys should play, the sort of builds you can expect on them, and the roles they generally play. Not going to run through the list of their abilities, most of you should know them by now, but, I'll just give you guys a little, overview of what you can expect. So Jana, I would say, about 2 to 3 bot games, if that. She's a support. She's played mainly as a support other than, like 1v1, like, the Snowdown type thing, or, an ARAM. She's generally played as support. You'll see stuff like an Athene's Unholy Grail, the Locket of Iron Solari, all of that stuff you'll see on Jana. That's really about it. She's, again, a support. All you need is like 2 bot games, not even, to understand exactly how she works. Her shield can actually work on both turrets and champions, so you can actually pick and choose which is more valuable to shield at that current time. And it also, I believe, gives an AD boost to champions when they're, when your shield is on them. So that's always good. Then we've got Rise, who's an amazing mid lane champion. And I mean just purely amazing. I would say about 1 to 2 bot games with him, if that. 1 would suffice. Ooh, sorry guys. But 1 bot game would suffice. And you'll be seeing items such as, Rabadon's Death Cap, Azania's, and what else? A Rod of Ages, and maybe even stuff like a Glacial Shroud. Because Rise can double dip with his mana as well as his AP. So again, expect to also maybe see a Rod of, Rod of Ages and Archangel Staff. Archangel Staff turns into Seraph's Embrace. He quadruple dips with those 2 items in and of themselves. Because all of his abilities are based upon AP, as well as a percentage of his mana. So, yeah. You want to build him pretty tanky. That's why I said a Glacial Shroud, maybe Frozen Heart on him. As well as, just some generic AP/magic resist items such as an Abyssal Scepter. All of those are very, very good for him. And that's really it. Again, solid middle lane champion. Next we have Timo, who I've seen played top, mid, and bottom. Bottom as either AD or the support, but support building AP. In mid and top, he's built mainly as AP. Now, again, with him, you'll be seeing stuff like Nashar's Tooth. You'll also be seeing maybe a Crystal Scepter, because that's always good on Timo. Same thing with the Landry's Torment. All 3 of those items are very, very common for Timo to have. He's very, very squishy, and he's one of the most annoying Yordles in the game. Aside from Tristana, in my opinion. He's got to be the most annoying. His blind is just annoying, his shrooms are annoying, and anytime you fight against him, it's just annoying, because the second he sees you, to the second you die or kill him, you're blinded. It's ludicrous. Plus his Toxic Dart, Dot, I believe it's, Toxic Dart. Yeah, that dot tends to hurt relatively quickly. And again, stuff like a Nashar's Tooth is just key on Timo. So expect to see him in either in the top lane as AP or in the bottom lane as AP, playing the quote-unquote support in that, that role. And mid lane, obviously, he'd be AP. I would say at least 1 bot game with him. He's not that difficult to learn and to play. You just need to learn where, shroom locations are most key. Next, we've got Garen, who we all know him, we all hate him. He's Mr. Spin to win. We all know it. What can I say about Garen that hasn't been said before? His ultimate's just devastating. His Q allows him to actually remove movement pairing effects such as, slows and anything like that. It doesn't remove snares like a Binding Light from Lux per se, but it does remove any sort of slows that may be on him at that current time, such as a slow from, Trundle or Shaco with the Twin Shiv. Stuff like that will be removed with his Q. And then his E just allows him to spin through everything, hence his name, Spin to Win. Again, not that difficult to play at least one bot game with him. You build him mainly AD and tanky. You want that good mix of health, mostly health as well as some AD. You don't really go for crit, but a crit item would be ideal. You go for stuff like Infinity Edge and then Black Cleaver, and maybe in Atmas. He's the only champion I would say in Atmas would actually be good on. Other than that, Warmogs is always good for Garen, as well as like a Randuin's Omen. So, yeah, just play by ear and see what your team needs most. Next, we have Akali. She's always most likely going to be played in the mid or top lane. She will very, very rarely be played bottom. She's going to be that one of the rare champions that actually can be hybrid, and it actually works out for her. Because her abilities double dip on both. Well, some of them double dip on AP, some of them double dip on AD. Like, I believe it's her E that actually uses both AD and AP. But you want that good mix, at least, go ahead and get a Hextech Revolver. Or Gunblade. I forget which one it is. It's the final one. I believe it's Hextech Gunblade that you get from the cut list as well as the other one, yeah. That's the, bare maximum. Bare minimum you'd want as a Akali for AD. The rest you want to build as AP, such as a Rabadon's Deathcap, and I would actually say a Deathcap as Zanya's would work good on her, because she's based off of energy. You don't really need anything that has mana regen. So, that Crystal Scepter is also good on her. It's not the best, it's decent, but it can help in the long run if you keep on getting focused and you're too squishy. And you need that health. Other than that, the Abyssal Scepter is always good. I would not recommend a Zanya's on her, just because that messes up her flow. With her ultimate having 3 charges, if you don't use it or you kill something with your ultimate, then yeah. Or, you get a kill, or I believe it's an assist that refreshes her ult and gives you another charge, or refreshes that one charge you just used. But yeah, she's one of those that doesn't use mana, and she's very, very difficult to deal with, especially when she pops her Shroud. But yeah, you want that good mix of AD and AP. Focus more on AP than anything else, and I would say with her, maybe at least 2 bot games to understand exactly how much AD and AP you need to be efficient as an assassin. You'll be mostly focusing on, the other mid laner or top laner, whoever, whichever lane you were in, and focusing down, obviously, the ADC. Next, we have Lee Sin, who's very potent at mid, in the jungle, as well as at top. Those 3 roles he's very, very good at. I've seen lots of Lee Sins go mid and just destroy as well as fail and then start destroying. He's another one of those that's also based off of energy, not mana, just like Akali. For him, you'll be seeing items such as, I want to say a Black Cleaver. I could be wrong on that one, but a Ravenous Hydra doesn't go amiss on him. Stuff like Warmogs never goes amiss. You want that, again, like Garen, you want that mix of AD as well as that health. You're not really meant to, dish out wicked insane crits such as, somebody like Vayne is supposed to do, or Varus, which we'll talk about them in a minute. But yeah, his abilities scale off of, I believe it's AD as, some of them are AD. I think one is AP, but it's like a very, very minute scaling, so you don't go for that AP. So again, that mix of AD and health, as well as the armor and magic resist, you're going to be there to soak up all the all the damage, as well as be able to dish it out at the same time without the crits. So I would recommend at least 2 to 3 bot games, if not more, to understand exactly how his Q works and his W, understand how they work and exactly what's going on, because I believe all of his abilities except for his ultimate have 2 different effects. His Q, it's a sonic wave, it's a skill shot, and if it actually catches on to somebody, you can actually go to them in a given distance. Your W, I believe, is a shield. I could be wrong. That makes you dash to whoever you shield. And your E, it's a slow and a reveal, depending on which one you casted. And yeah, his ult's a giant kick. Plain and simple. But I would say at least 3 bot games to understand how his abilities work. Moving on, though, we've got Vayne. We all know her. We've all played her and hate or love her, depending on which side of the field you're on. Very, very, very potent ADC. Requires a heavy amount of farm. And she's one of those ADCs I would say attack speed's almost godly for her because of her silver bolts that actually do pure damage, and it's just insane. If you stack something like an Infinity Edge, a Blade of the Rune King on her, she's almost, she can just take down almost any tank by herself. And I mean somebody like Garen or Leona who have just an insane amount of health and not really much of anything else. Saying that though, she's very, very squishy. Yeah, she has some ways of getting in and out of combat with her tumble, but, when you don't have the mana for tumble or condemn, there you go. You have no other ways of getting in or out of combat. Speaking of condemn, if you condemn somebody to a wall, they actually get stunned and take, I believe it's increased, they take an increased damage from condemn. And your passive is pretty good at allowing you to chase enemies down. Also, your ult, whenever you tumble, you actually go invisible for a second and a half if you don't attack. And it also increases your passive movement speed bonus, or the bonus movement speed you get from your passive, rather. Sorry, wording's bad right now. But, yeah, again, attack speed never goes amiss on Vayne as well. Stuff like Blade of the Rune King, Bloodthirster, and Infinity Edge. Those are almost 3 standard items for almost any Vayne. Then maybe a Phantom Dancer or Static Shiv as well. All those will help. And again, the Blade of the Rune King just kind of synergizes very well with Silver Bolt because they both kind of do that pure damage that Vayne just loves. But yeah, I would say maybe at least 2 bot games with her to understand exactly how her condemn pushes, where her condemn pushes, how her ult works, how far tumble will bring you, etc. And exactly how to build her for your situations. Next we have Leona, who is generally played as a support tanky character, such as, Taric. She does scale rather decently with AP, and she gets a ton of health, and she's just there to be that meat shield. She's got, I believe it's 2 ways to stun and 1 way to root people in place. Yeah, she is a big disruptor in team fights. If she lands her ult dead center on you, you're stunned for, I believe it's a second and a half. Her Dawnbreaker stuns you for a second, and her Zenith Blade, roots you in place for half a second, and that half a second can mean a difference of life and death. So, yeah. But, yeah, general items on her would be, believe it or not, would actually be some, a little bit of AP as well as health. I'm not against going items such as an Abyssal Scepter on her because it gives her AP, gives her magic resist, and again, AP helps her with her abilities. And then, stuff like Warmogs or Randuin's Omen, Thornmail, all of those help Leona as well. What else would actually be good for her? Generally, anything that's, tanky support, such as, the same thing with Rise, for instance, like the Glacial Shroud, turn that into a Frozen Heart. That's always good on any sort of support or Rise. Same thing with Janna, go ahead and get that Frozen Heart as well, will help. Just due to how squishy Janna is versus Leona. But, that being said, again, not really much to say. I would say at least 1 bot game with her. Expect to be support, not mid or anything else. Next we have Varus, who, just like Vayne, very, very, very potent ADC. He's a little more, he's a little more, how should I word this? He can survive a little longer than Vayne. His ultimate, if it catches onto it's a skill shot, so be wary. But if it catches onto an enemy champion before it reaches its, final duration or length, then it'll try and seek out other champions to chain to and root them all in place after a few seconds, much like Morgana's ultimate. And it does a decent amount of damage. I believe it scales with AP, but that's the only ability he has that scales with AP. Again, you'll be seeing stuff like Blade of the Rune King, Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge on Varus. All those are very, very standard. Maybe even a Black Cleaver if he feels like it, or what is it? I forget the name of it. It's that ranged weapon that, it's the bow as well as 2 daggers, splits your attacks into 3. That's also good on Teemo. Again, that name slips me for whatever reason. But that's also good on Varus as well as Teemo. And his Hail of Arrows, they did nerf the damage of it, but it still does an insane amount of damage because it scales with AD. And yeah, it also nerfs, it's a nice little AoE that will nerf the healing people receive while they're standing in it, as well as slow them. So that's always good. But yeah, not much else to say on Varus. At least 2 bot games with him. At least, again, just understand how his ult can chain, like how far the chain will go before, people can't get rooted from it. And how far it actually travels before, it doesn't go any further. Other than that, yeah, you should be good with him. And last but not least, we have Diana, who's, she can be good in the jungle, as well as in the mid or top lane, just like Lee Sin. If you're playing any lane you're playing her, or any way you're playing her, whether it be the jungle, the top, or mid, you're always going to be going AP, as well as a decent mix of health and some mana regen mixed in. Now, I'm not saying mana regen in the form of like an Archangel staff, but, in the form of maybe a Rod of Ages or Nathane's on Holy Grail. That doesn't go amiss on her, in my opinion. Her, just everything she has, she's almost like a Kali, but doesn't scale off of AD all that much, if at all. She does do rather decently with, she can be built AD, but not, she won't do as much damage. So, expect stuff like Rabadon's Death Cap on her. Azania's actually doesn't go amiss on her either, because that really doesn't mess up her flow. Abyssal Scepter is also good because she's a melee, she's meant to be in the fray of everything, and that'll just help her survive a little longer. Her ultimate, if you hit somebody with your Q and bounce to them with your ult no longer has a cooldown, it's instantly refreshed, and that's why I say she's kind of like a Kali, to where she can always bounce to somebody as long as her Q was hit onto them and there's no cooldown for it. However, again, it does cost a lot of mana to do that combo consecutively. Her W, it actually pulls people in and slows them down. Her E, it's a shield, and if the charges aren't, she has a, words are difficult. But yeah, she has a shield, and the shield has charges. If the charges go off, it refreshes and she gets another shield. But if it doesn't, because what happens is with her shield, it actually, if it absorbs damage, or if it, if she just goes ahead and, has the orbs that go around her when her shield is up, they actually hit things, she actually gets another shield, and that builds on top of that. So yeah, she's pretty good. Everything scales with the AP that I remember. And again, stuff like, Rabadon's Death Cap and Azania's are actually pretty good for her, as well as that Abyssal Scepter. Other than that, you really shouldn't be building AD on her. Maybe also get a Crystal Scepter, because, hey, that health plus mana plus AP, plus that nice slow is always good. And with her, I would say at least 1 bot game, if not 2, to just, understand exactly how the mechanics of her work. But, yeah, guys, that's it. My name has been Shadowswolm. Happy New Year, and, for those of you that didn't know, the league servers got DDoSed. Who knew? I did make a video about it, and, yeah, apparently the police are investigating it. No joke. But again, my name has been Shadowswolm. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead, subscribe if you want to see more League of Legends content, as well as some Dota 2 and Hearthstone content, maybe even some TF2. And yeah, that's it. Again, Happy New Year to all, and I will talk to you all next time.